Welcome to the Lights Out Podcast. This is Chris Lights Out Lytle, and this is our journey to document the history of mixed martial arts. I have brought with me my friend, the MMA detective Mike Davis, and together we will preserve the history and hear some great stories from the world in the era of the no-holds-barred. Thank you and enjoy.
Welcome to the Lights Out Podcast. MMA detective Mike Davis here. Along with me, I got Preston Thigpen. Preston, you've been hounding me about tracking this guy down for over a year now. With us, the one, the only, John Dixson.
Us.
What's up, brother? What's up, John Dixson?
How you doing, bro?
All right, let's get the plugs out of the way. Preston Thigpen, why don't you let us know what you got going on?
Same old, man. Training with Kurt Holloway every day. Coaching, training. Same old thing, man.
You can find him over there. John Dixon, I know you do refereeing. You're heavily involved with the athletic commission. You've also got your own gym. Why don't we give yourself some plugs?
All right, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Just training. Well, right now I had a back surgery, so I'm not reffing right now. So doing more judging now. So just getting in shape, healing up.
In Dixon's Dungeon, where could somebody find that?
Oh, Dixon Dungeon's in Gulfport, Mississippi, man. We do Muay Thai, boxing, sambo, jiu-jitsu. Everything is a one-stop shop. Stop on down. And
my man. So, John, you've got a real interesting career. Your first MMA fight, February 9th, 1996. That's as old school as it gets.
Yeah.
What began your journey into mixed martial arts?
Well, I was a kickboxer first, and then so they called back when they called. It wasn't MMA then. It was NHB, no holds barred. So it was they wanted champions from all aspects of fighting, boxing, wrestling. I was a kickboxer, so that's how I was called.
So, like, did you even know jiu-jitsu by the time your first MMA fight took place? Actually,
the ground. And I got my ass kicked by Dan Severn bad, and my fourth MMA fight was against Dan the Beast Severn, man. When I got taken out to the cage, I said, I got to learn ground. I ate so many headbutts, knees, and elbows. I learned then I got to learn ground.
Okay. Well, your path is pretty interesting. So February 9th, 1996, Oklahoma Free Fight Series. There's a couple boxes that we like to have checked.
Yeah.
Tournament fighting. If you're a veteran fighter, you've got a tournament underneath your belt, like an old school veteran. You started off in a 4-man tournament. Michael Stam is your first opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anthony Macias was in the finals that day.
Yeah. He basically outpointed me, outworked me. I was kind of new to it. Michael Stam, I knocked out. Anthony, I knew him, and we just kind of worked around, and I should have did more, but I didn't. Okay.
So Buddy Albin was Anthony Macias's first manager and was in the corner that day.
Right.
Is that how you got hooked up like a month later, March 30th, 1996? You're fighting in Kiev, Ukraine?
Yeah. Buddy Albin called. I did a kickboxing show, and he was there. And I did good to stand up. I knocked the guy out. Then I fought again in Oklahoma again before that. Then I knocked the guy out. And I had a bunch of knockouts, Muay Thai. And he saw that, so he called me up to go to Kiev.
All right. What was that experience like? I mean, it's just kind of one of those famous events, Mafia run.
Yeah. It was when I got to, like Boss Rudin had said, got to the airport, and it was all this paperwork, and you couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And all of a sudden, this guys come and in these suits, and the cop didn't say nothing. You walk right by, just didn't have to go through customs, check anything, just right through. It was good. And then we were on the road. It's funny. And it was kind of like a traffic jam. And these cars pulled out, and these guys got the car, talking. And the guy got out. We call him Joe Pesci. Stefan was his name. He looks out the car, and everybody just bound. Oh, Stefan, and got back in the car and cleared. It was crazy. It was like something you see on TV,
So before this fight, it's an 8-man tournament.
Yeah.
Was Federico Lapenda also involved in this?
I heard he was. He wasn't there with us. Or was he there? Him and Buddy had some dealings, and Federico was. I fought for him in Brazil. After that, he was Marco Horse.
Yeah.
And
Carlson Gracie, he managed all those guys. Yeah. But in Ukraine, this is one of the events where there was accusations of trying to rip off the UFC by Buddy Albin. Art Davie denies any involvement whatsoever. Rob Van Cleef also lost his ambassador job with the UFC over this event. What was the chaos that you remember in regards to kind of being there?
Well, just from hearing that Rob was saying that this, UFC and Buddy Albin was actually the matchmaker for the UFC at that time.
Coordinator, coordinator. Yeah.
You heard things, we didn't know them. Paul Wallace was there also. And you were hearing things, and Rob Van Cleef. And after that show, I heard there was a big stink with Buddy Albin, Rob Van Cleef, the UFC, Art Davies, everything. I heard it fell apart then.
Yeah, things started to fall apart. They also had to paint over a logo that was similar to the UFC, maybe even infringing on the name as well. Was it as hectic backstage with the Mafia? Because the tapes got stolen. Federico Lapenda had to smuggle them out. There's a lot of crazy shit in regards to this event.
It was, yeah. Federico was there. Now you mentioned that, yeah, he did. And also, we had to that night after the fight, they come. I was actually in the room with a chick, and they called and beat on the door saying, "Hey, we got to go." I'm like, well, we got to go, and so we had to leave because we're going to be arrested because the cops are going to come arrest us because the mob that ran the show. So they took us to the airport that night to get. We were back toward it's customs, but so we weren't on active Ukrainian, so we were on international soil because we were past customs because they're going to arrest us the next morning. So we had to spend the night in the airport.
All right. So it's an 8-man tournament. Your first, Alexander Mandryk is your first opponent.
Yeah.
You win by guillotine in 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Igor Vovchancyn is your second opponent. You win by KO at 2:37. And then he was 5-2. He's recorded as 5-2. And then Igor Vovchancyn, you meet in the finals.
Yeah. He man, I couldn't find out that he had won a tournament 2 weeks prior. They were fighting that much over there. Yeah. And he was good, super nice, man. But we got in there, we're banging, and I didn't feel nothing, but he caught me with a right hook, right in the nose, and I was like, man, so I was bouncing back. And I remember going to the cage and man, all of a sudden a faucet came on, just ran in there. I said, nah, and it was like, man, just crushed my nose, Yeah.
Yeah, you went 9 minutes, 10 seconds with Vovchanchyn. He was 16-2. I think all of his wins were through tournaments over. Yeah, he's got a 4-month period where all he does is tournaments. And he's literally got an entire career of a very experienced fighter within a 4-month, 5-month period.
Yeah, they actually Ukraine. I went back to Ukraine a couple of times and fought, and they loved me over there, man. And they were like, well, John Dixon actually made Igor because Gene Fabricant gave a speech as if Igor hadn't beat John Dixon, he wouldn't have been known or heard of. And then he went to Pride and got into Pride and just exploded, A
lot of name for himself.
Yeah.
He, in my opinion, he's one of those Hall of Fame legends that goes under the radar a little bit.
Super nice guy. He did a lot for his country during the war. too. You know, he was. It's funny. He just had a lot of crazy power that at the European power. You know, back in those days, I said when they opened the gates and let these Eastern Bloc guys start fighting in the States, they're gonna be champions. Sure enough, right now, all my students like, hey, coach, you must have had a crystal ball because these guys are champions in MMA, Muay Thai, and boxing.
You know, Mark Coleman also said the same thing. Like when Mark Coleman won the UFC world title, he said, hey, guys, I want all the Americans to enjoy this time while it lasts because the Russians are coming.
Man.
He literally said that in the 90s.
I tell you what, they had I tell you, Mike, I tell you, they got fights over there that they don't even have in books here that I fought. I fought a tournament. It was the very first USA versus Russia. It was like 14 of us. All these guys from Iowa, these wrestlers. And I told them, hey, guys, look, I know you guys are wrestling good, but you're not going to impress these guys. These guys are going to be good, you know. You know, I was the only guy to win out of 14 fights. We went 13-1. And that's when my name got big, especially in Europe and over there. And they loved me, you know.
So it's interesting. So your first four-man tournament, you meet Buddy Albin. Yeah. He brings you to Ukraine about a month and a half later.
And never got paid for that too, man, by the way.
You never got paid in Ukraine?
Got fucked, man. I mean, 20 grand, never got it. Never got it.
Do you think maybe that's why they try to get you through customs real quick?
You know what? They were supposed to take care of it, but Buddy Albin going to find out. I fought him a few times, but then I come here and later on, he was a snake, man. You know, it was a lot of, so who knows? And then they were trying to sneak out the tapes and all that. So I don't know who was. The mob guys took care of us. I couldn't see them. I bet if they knew how to get paid, they probably would reach in their pocket and here 20 grand, you know. But those guys took care of everything while we were there. But I don't know what deal they had going on. But yeah, but I never got paid, man.
That whole here. Did they pay for your medical either or for your nose?
No, nothing. Because I had to come back to the States to get my nose fixed because I had to stay in the hospital there, and they wanted us out of there. We had to go. You know. And like I said, I was there with a chick, man, and I had to get I'm with a broad, man, and I'm like, well, and then I say, hey, man, look, I took a time, you know.
And you should have said, yeah, he's not here. And just ignored the knocking.
Oh, they were beating on the door like crazy. Hey, we gotta go. I'm like, what are you talking about? And Boss Rudin had we were in the strip club, and Boss Rudin had tossed Paul Vaughan through his glass door, and he cut his arm. He couldn't go get that stitch. He had to get on an airplane with things wrapped around. Tell you how crazy that was. Boss throws him through this glass door, and it's where the security guys are. It's one of those two-way mirrors, and he threw him through. Boss that was when Boss was wild. I knew Boss when he was the old Boss Rudin before he met his lovely wife, had his kid. I remember the old Boss Rudin, crazy Boss. Yeah, he was wild. Yeah, it was crazy.
So the Mafia claims they didn't get paid, and they keep the tapes. Federico Lapenda has to steal the tapes out.
Right.
You come in second for the $20,000 grand prize. You don't get paid, and they don't pay for your medical.
Right. Yeah.
Who do you think made the money?
I'm thinking Buddy Albin, those guys, because if they had to sneak something out and they got the tapes, and the tapes were saying over here, you know what I mean? They actually, it's called Night of the Diamond. It's got like 2 or 3 versions of it. You know, where you can get the first 2 fights and then main fights later, but to get all 3 is like, it's all crazy. I don't know. It was some shit though. It was some bullshit, I tell you. The mob ran everything, man. You know, but even when I was in Moscow, when I fought in Russia a lot.
Yeah.
The mob pretty much ran everything.
Well, here. So, like, shit, that's March 30th. So some shit happens. You know, someone made some money. Mm-hmm. Federico Lapenda certainly is kind of known for never losing money, especially in business situations. And then in June, like we're talking like a couple months later, June 24th, 1996, you're in a no holds barred competition, University Valley Judo Federation, with one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound at the time, Carlos Barreto.
Yeah. And I tell you, that was thrown. That was what was weird about that in Brazil. I get there. I'm a kickboxer, right? And they got me listed as luta libre. I didn't know what luta libre was. You know, that was back when they had that big rivalry, jiu-jitsu. They hated each other. They were the blood and the Crips. They hated each other. So, I'm with the luta libre guys, and people look at me crazy, but it's posted on me all downtown. Because somehow, some reason, the guys in Brazil seen that fight in Russia. That's why Federico Lapenda, the guy they saying, he would let that tape slip because guys knew of me. So then, Carlos Gracie Sr., who was rest in peace, was a super nice guy, invited me to train with him, and then Mario Sperry, Bustamante, all those guys, Valigi, and I didn't. I trained with Marco Horse and Hugo Duarte. All the
was Eugenio Tadao there?
Yeah, he was there, dude. Yeah, I met all those guys.
Oh, legend.
Yeah, and man, I met as a matter of fact, it was funny. I met Laborio, not Laborio, I met him too, but what was the light heavyweight that was in the UFC, had tattoos, he was Marco Horse's guy first, then he went to jiu-jitsu. Babalu. I met him when the tattoos weren't even filled in, man. Yeah, they were just outlines. Yeah, it's crazy.
I always thought Babalu, he always called out Tito. I always felt that the UFC did whatever it is they could to not make that matchup.
Really?
Yeah, I thought Babalu kind of came up on the short end. So Carlos Barreto, I mean, he's absolute legend. Luta Libre guy as well. I think he later went to jiu-jitsu for a little bit.
Well, he's jiu-jitsu. He was jiu-jitsu. He was Carlson Gracie's guy then.
Okay.
He's Carlson Gracie. He wasn't Luta Libre. They had me listed. I tell you, and after the fight, because I would want that fight again because I didn't know ground that much, and I would have gladly had that fight again. But at the fight, Carlson Gracie's talking to me. He had Conan Superarrow with him, Laborio with him, all the guys. And I'm talking to him, then all these loose guys over here, and they want to stand each other like anything could pop off at any second, And I was just being nice. But everyone to me, I'm telling you, was super, super nice. Like now, everyone works together, which is great. But I really feel that Luta Libre, because I met the ambassador of Luta Libre. Now I trained with him when I was there, and I don't think Luta Libre gets the credit it deserves. What's this no-gi jiu-jitsu? That's basically Luta Libre.
Remco Pardoel, we had him on, and he said in a 90-minute seminar with Eugenio Tadao, he learned more, and it changed his perspective more with submission fighting than it had in the last 7 years. He said it just completely turned everything upside down.
Yeah, the things they do, and because I was blessed, man, because I got to learn Luta Libre, catch wrestling, sambo, and BJJ, so I put everything together. So my thing is a gumbo of grappling, you learn so much, but I don't think that Luta Libre gets the respect it should get, because no-gi jiu-jitsu is basically Luta Libre.
Well, yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu is gi.
Yeah.
Luta Libre is just for the poor kids that couldn't afford the gi.
Exactly. And I tell you, I found out that a lot of when I was there, a lot of the jiu-jitsu people were kind of uppity type people. where the Luta Libre guys were the more the down in the hood, down in the bar.
They were a little grimy.
Yeah. Then I was like, man, what's going on here? I was like, man, what's this? But I mean, it was like they hated each other. I'm telling you, it was back when it was bad. When it was bad. And matter of fact, when you did tournaments, if it went to a draw, they automatically gave the jiu-jitsu guy the match. You know, the delivery guy taps him, chokes him out or something. But if it goes to a close of points, they give it to the BJ guy.
Well, Carlos Barreto at this time was arguably one of the best in the world.
Yeah, Carlos is a nice guy, super nice dude too. You know, super nice guy, super nice guy. All, you know, I gotta say, all those guys were super cool. But I didn't see any. I tell you, it was funny. Guy that I know was high headed was a Pele. Really?
Well, he's Cuban. He's Cuban, but
Raised-
lives in Brazil. You know what I
Right.
mean? He defected in Brazil. I think a former Olympian.
Yeah, Pele. He was good, man. Pele was a man back then. He was a striker. He was the one. Back when I was the WWEF champ, I was the heavyweight champ, superweight champ. He won middleweight. He beat Pat Miletich back then. Remember that?
While Miletich was carrying the UFC belt.
Right. People don't talk about that. You know, that was back when Jamie Levine was really pushing the WF. You know, we were doing. As a matter of fact, we were supposed to have a match against their champions because at the time, Mark Holman was champion. They wanted me to fight Mark, and then Mark got beat by
Is it Pete Williams?
no, Pedro Rizzo.
Pedro Rizzo. Yeah, I don't know how he lost. That was a weird loss.
Pedro Rizzo.
We hear. So you meet Buddy Albin.
Yeah.
You go to Kiev. In Kiev, you meet Federico Lapenda.
Mm.
A few months later, you're fighting in Brazil in an NHB because of Lapenda hooked it up. So like you're kind of keep rolling forward.
Yeah.
Did you get paid for the Barreto fight?
Yeah. That was the one time I didn't get paid was that Russia fight. Didn't get paid.
Yeah, Barreto was he was 1-0 at the time, but he quickly rose up the rankings right after this fight. Like within 3 fights, people were arguing that he was one of the best in the world. Right, around his 4th or 5th fight, because of how good he was. And then you go back to Russia. You got Maxim Tarasov.
Yeah.
Who's I don't know if he was a world champion sambo guy, but I know
He was. And you know what? He was world in that fight. I shouldn't take that because I had a fight because I was a boxer and still doing kickboxing. My nose was broken, and I fought that fight. He got hit in the nose again, and still crazy.
Yeah, your nose never really healed. You just kept getting in fights.
Yeah, back then, because I fight every weekend, man. Because being that I was a pro boxer, kickboxing, making, but and he's beating him. Because back then, as long as you didn't get stopped, you could fight next weekend. Now they got to where you got to wait 30 days. You know,
the days of 50 Fight Club members, they're going to be very, very few and far between.
Yeah, I fought every weekend. Every weekend. I was on a plane somewhere every weekend.
So with Tarasov, you're back in Russia. Were you worried about not getting paid again?
I was, but I met some. It was in Moscow, so I'm thinking, okay, was it Buddy Albin or somebody else, you know? And after that time, every time in Russia, I was taken care of. But never had a problem. I was there usually for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Got a chance to train a lot of different gyms. The Olympic Center. Got a chance to work. Got a chance to work with people. You know, so all of my learning was basically on the fly when I go here and I'll be able to train. Because there was nothing in Mississippi. It was no gyms or no training partners, you know. So I had to take fights actually to just train.
Did you hang out with Andy Anderson at all right around this time?
I remember. When he was with Buddy Albin, yeah. Buddy Albin, yeah. He was one that I heard he's like in prison now, huh?
Yeah, he and I we talk about every other week. I take his prison phone calls.
Oh wow.
Yeah. What was he like outside of the ring? Because he was a big flashing money guy.
Yeah, he did. He's flashed a lot of stuff. He had these restaurants or something, or what he was doing.
Nude steakhouses.
Steakhouse, yeah. I think he said he owned a strip club or something like that too. I don't know. I never go to Texas to hang with him, but you see him at fights,
So he was your referee against Dan Severn, Battle of the Bayou, IFC 5. So even though you didn't get paid for IFC 1, you're still messing with them and you fight at IFC 5.
Yeah, they actually paid me all the whole time. We're going to get you money, get your money. Then when I fought stateside or in Canada, I got paid. But that big one I never get. And that was 20 grand.
Yeah, 20 grand is a lot of money today.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 96.
Yeah, I tell you, and I actually I got with a lawyer, and he's like, man, it's going to cost you 20 grand to get 20 grand.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it sucked.
So Dan Severn, what was your relationship like with him?
Cool, real nice dude, man. He I fought him twice actually. The second time was a lot longer, but first time, I thought I was gonna be. I was hit him a couple of shots, leg kick. I caught him a leg kick and actually knocked him down. But then I thought he shot and he ran to the cage, and that's when it started. That's when I said, man, I gotta learn ground, man, because this ain't good.
Yeah.
Nice dude though, nice guy, Dan.
So Dan was 18-3-1 at the time. I mean, obviously he's got about 100 fights, most questionable. So that's September of 97. And the crazy thing is, like, when you look at MMA trivia, like, one of my questions is, everybody knows the first fight in the UFC.
Right.
Taylor Tooley, Gerard Gordeau. I'm like, if you don't know that one, dude.
Right.
We probably shouldn't be hanging out.
Right.
But the first ever Pride fight.
Right.
Kazunari Murakami versus yourself, John Dixon.
Well, and tell you, that was a work. That fight was a work. It wasn't even I went there. I was there for a month, but they said, "Look, the guy was talking. Kawasaki, the matchmaker, like, hey, look, we can't. Here in Japan, it's all about the show. Would you be willing to do what we call here hard work? I'm like, what was the work? He said, we can't have all our Japanese stars win. So we got. I think mine was a work. Nathan Jones of Troy, big guy. His was a work. There was another Dutch guy. His was a work, and the rest were real because they knew Henzo would beat Shoji. They knew Hickson would beat Tagata. So they couldn't have all the Japanese stars. It was big for the public,
Well, here, did you think Hickson versus Takada was a real fight, or do you think this was Takada's first real fight?
That was his first real fight, yeah.
So that was Takada's first real fight. So the fights prior to that were fake.
Yeah, they were they call hard shoots.
So Chemo versus Severn is kind of known as one of the worst fights.
Yeah, horrible, yeah.
And then Severn was yelling about a rematch. Like he wanted a rematch. That kind of seemed like that they were working as well.
Yeah, probably. I wasn't there then. I had a contract. Was crazy. I had a contract with them, and then mysteriously, the guy that owned it then hung himself. Remember that? And they're not sure if that. They're not sure if that really happened or the Yakuza. And I found out that the Yakuza. I didn't know what the Yakuza was till then. I'm hanging out with these guys, going to these bathhouses, all these tat. I was like, man, everybody got tat. I just didn't not knowing, and they ran everything too. And they also took care of me, they had me a ride, checks, whatever I need, I get, Rush was the same way. Those guys, whatever I wanted, they come to me, oh, John, you want girl or make a phone call, boom, it's on, Yeah, that I was, man. And I was like, and then when I was in Russia, I didn't know they all tatted up too. And I was sparring with these two guys, and they all had a bunch of tats. I remember these two guys had knives on their neck. I found out later on that the Russian mob, the guys that got the knife on their neck, that's the hitters. That's the guys called. And I'm in there sparring with these dudes, we were hanging out, but they were cool, But I found all this stuff later on.
Yeah, I think the Yakuza and the Russian Mafia guys are really cool until they're not. You know what I mean? Then they're really not cool, like at all.
Yeah, man, they I know I did, man. Them guys would make sure whatever I wanted. They make a phone call and boom, it was there.
Hey, Preston, in Louisiana, how's the local mafia in Louisiana as compared to Russia and Japan?
No, I would imagine back in the day, yeah, Carlos Marcellus, but you don't have nothing compared to.
Right.
No.
It's just a different world, man. Like you're coming from Mississippi and then kind of going into their world. Like you gotta.
Yeah, and then I really felt so naive, man. I was in the army, you know, I went around, but I wasn't around those type people, you know. And then when I got to hang with them, I was like, man, what the hell, you know? And because I knew they all was strapped. But I'm thinking it's Russia, you know, that's how it is, you know. Everybody was strapped, you know. And they took us in certain places and just like couldn't find out they were betting on me and Paul Varlins going there. So they came every night and would get me and Paul Varlins and just take us out and whatever we wanted. Food, women, whatever we wanted, you know. And couldn't find out they was betting on me and Paul. And then but I ended up going to the end. So
Russian Mafia, Japanese Mafia, you dealt with both of them. Like you're one of the few Americans that can say that.
You're right.
What's the difference between between those factions?
Man, you know, I always thought about that because I always heard stories. I was in the Ukrainian mob is really feared. And I was in Moscow, the Russian mob really feared. With the Yakuza. I guess they all carried themselves the same way, man. You know who was a man, and there was a lot of respect. You know, a lot of respect. But what's funny, the people and the public knew these people because when we went in places, everyone just partied like the Red Sea, man. Everyone got away. It was never no problem, and they came to whatever they asked for, they got. You know, quick. You know, it was like, you know, just whatever they asked for, boom, was there. You know, I remember one night I was he took me to this restaurant in Kiev, and I was like, I remember asking Stefan, which I was able to kind of sit across from him because he had a bunch of guys. I said, Stefan, man, I said, hey, what chicks at, dog? This is good. Oh, John, you want girl? Man, he got this guy and they had a phone. That was back when cell phones, they had that gray phone, you know, that ugly ass phone. And then the guy makes a phone call and 5 chicks show up and he's like, hey, pick what you want, man. I said, really? He said, yeah. You know, and that was new to me, you know, like, okay. Yeah. So they whatever they said, it went, you know. And then you can see the fear when they were now in Japan, Yakuza, man, the respect, you know, that they get when the head guy walked through, well, you know you can tell he's the man. Everyone bows. No one even raises up till he's out the door. He's walked past a long ways. Yeah.
So Pride 1, what was the audience like?
Crazy. I had never been. I mean, y'all get nervous when crowds, but you know, I was the first fight, and I got to do this work, and I don't want to go there and look stupid, you know. And the production was amazing. The show, where they had the pyro and everything blowing up and the bands and stuff. And I'm walking down to the ring, and it's lit up because it's you know, remember Pride, everything was white. Remember the canvas was white and the ropes was white. So everything out is lit up, man, and it's like, and I'm the whole time walking, I'm like, man, don't screw this up, screw this up, you know, because when I first got there, the first night, he and I met, and they said, I want y'all to go ahead and go, just we see how it goes, you know, and I was able to tap him or hurt him, you know, pretty quick. They're like, we got to work on this. So every night we would go over how we would do this arm bar throw, because you know, throwing. That's how it worked.
Okay, so they approach you right away for work. Yeah. What kind of money are they talking, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, no. They would back then. They would talk about like maybe 5,000. But the one that gave me 1,000 a week, just that was back then, 1,000 a week just to hang there, you know. I was there for like 3 weeks, almost a month. And then they gave me a 5-fight contract going to go up because I was going to be able to bring students and stuff like that. But then, like I said, when I called for the contract, the guy hung himself. And they were saying they think the Yakuza did that. It's so-called hung himself. Yeah. So that was a big thing about that, you know. I was
Wow.
yeah. Everyone said he didn't hang himself.
That kind of puts things in perspective.
Yeah. Everyone says he didn't hang himself.
Did you deal with Suzuki at all?
Suzuki, no.
Or Funaki? Any of those guys?
I saw them. Everyone was there. Everyone was there, but I didn't deal with them. But I got
Inaki. Did you ever deal with Inaki?
no,
Inoki? Inoki? No.
What happened was I kept fighting in Japan, going back, and then I almost got signed with the Kingdom. Remember Kingdom? That's where I met Sakuraba and all that. But then it went under, you know. And then Rings was real big, and you know, I never saw how that place went. How Rings went. Rings was huge all over Europe.
Let's segue. All right, so you dealt with the Ukraine Mafia.
Yeah.
A little weird there. You didn't get paid.
Yeah.
Russian Mafia, you're good.
Yeah.
Japan Mafia, you're good.
Right.
You beat Aaron Pendleton in the World Shoot Wrestling, and then you go October 25th, 1998, Amsterdam Absolute Championship 1, Remco Pardoel. Now you're dealing with the Dutch Mafia.
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened with that. One time, first time Remco and I fought, he beat me with a hip throw, drive me crazy. Then we fought again. We fought in a 8-man tournament. But what's crazy, they hooked me up with this Kyokushin champion from Turkey because I was Kyokushin in Muay Thai. So I knocked this guy out the first. I knocked him out. And then when Remco comes to fight, he gets a bye. He goes to the. Anyway.
Okay, so this is like we're skipping ahead a little bit. That's November 27th, 1999. Can Sinhibas, you knock out. He's 4-0. Remco is at 6-3 and gets you the heel hook. But let's kind of, out of all of the mafias, and as brutal as Russia, Ukraine, and Japan is, a lot of those histories are hidden or buried. Like you can't even find them online, like some of the murders.
Right.
The Dutch Mafia history, it's in your face. It's car explosions.
Yeah.
You know, 2 brothers getting killed. The owner of Golden Glory running the organization from prison. Like it's friggin' nuts.
Yeah.
Henry Brillerman winding up in many different places at the same time.
Right. I heard that. So one time, guy said, "John, man, I don't know why the mob likes you. Everywhere you go, the mob really likes you." I was like, "What?" I heard about the Dutch mob, and I'm like, well, what do they do? You know, no mob. I'm like, what do they do? And he's, oh man, and then you're hearing about bombings and this and that, and the Golden Glory.
In the connection with Japan, I mean, I'm not going to say it's ecstasy, the production of which in one country and shipping to the other country. But it was heavily, like, off the record. I had people call me up saying, well, you know, Dutch was kind of the producers and suppliers of ecstasy. And oftentimes, and I don't know if this is true. Like, I do not know if this is true. Obviously, I wasn't there. But it's certainly something that was told to me by more than one person. Right. In the Overeem interview, I kind of alluded to it, and he got quiet quick.
Yeah, well, I know in Amsterdam, I was in Amsterdam a lot. It was definitely there. Everything was there you wanted there too. It was nothing was hard to get for sure in Amsterdam.
You try not to go down that road, you know?
Yeah. Nothing was hard to get. Nothing was hard to get there.
Remco, an absolute legend. I fought in
He was a good night. I met him with his dad. Man. Good people.
Very educated.
Yeah. He is.
And Lee Murray used to stay with him.
Really? Lee Murray?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lee Murray, yeah. Oh, you bring back some old names there. Lee Murray, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, he used to stay at Remco's house with his parents.
I tell you what's funny. When Remco and I fought the second time, they made us made us put on karate pants because they said it was illegal. They're going to arrest all the fighters, so they had to call it a karate tournament.
At IFC 9, January 9th, 1999, it's incredibly interesting. I don't know if this is a tournament or not a tournament, but Gene Riviere, who fought in Extreme Battlecade 2 against Carlos Newton, you beat him. He's a giant. He's like a 280-pound guy, absolute legit monster. You beat him.
Right.
And then you fight Jeremy Horn and lose by armbar.
Right.
And then you come back out and fight Travis Fulton and lose by armbar.
Yeah. They came.
How does this happen?
How'd it happen? Okay, I was in the back. It was crazy. I was actually, when I lost to Jeremy Horn, and I was like, man, I was like, when he come, if you remember, it was by the fence, and he arched up and they trapped me by the fence. I was so pissed. But so I go and I'm drinking beer now because I'm good. And they come, hey John, we need you to fight. Yeah, like what? Because something happened where the guy backed out or something. So then I go to the finals against Travis. I had to go change while I had beer in my hand and change to fight Travis.
So some guy just left and you ended up jumping back in there?
Yeah, John, man, we need you to fight in finals. I'm like, what? All right, yeah, okay. Yeah. That's the way that happened. Yeah. Oh, crazy shit, man.
Was there additional money exchanged, or was?
Yeah. Well, I'm just more money. Yeah. Now I'm telling you what, Canada. One time I got screwed in Canada. They paid me a check, right?
Well, that's it. This is the Canada fight.
Yeah, they paid me a check, right? I get back to the States, and then when I put it in the bank, is in Canadian. I'm expecting one amount, and it's like half that, and because it was in Canadian money. Yeah. Oh man. So I've seen it go. I've seen the shit get bad. I've seen it go from. I've seen guys. I tell guys, they bitch about these athletic commissions, but they're good to have because when you don't get paid, because I know in boxing, I've had a problem with checks, bounce, whatever. They always make sure it's good. Even MMA, back when MMA was, they were paying checks sometime, checks or bounds. You can go to the athletic commission and make sure it gets good. So, I mean, they're paying the ass sometimes, but they are there to help you.
Well, I mean, you're sitting on that side of the fence now too.
Yeah.
Which certainly helps.
Yeah.
So did you have any dealings with the Dutch Mafia at all?
You know what? I found out that I was with them at a bar, and I know the bar went in there and everything is cleared. I don't know if somebody got the bar, and I found out because those guys came in. I found out later on because those guys came in. Like I said, everyone was always got something on them, packing. I mean, and I'm like, man, I was wondering, all these fights, the mob run everything because everything was always everywhere I went was always mob related. Ukraine, Moscow, I guess just Brazil was the only one where I didn't see any mafia, but I fought in the Eastern Bloc. I fought in Lithuania a lot, and so you always run into the mob, always.
That's the fight game. I mean, it really is, and it's like the people that don't know that, especially when they're fighting overseas, they're unaware.
Yeah, they're blind. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's nice. It's nice that you're unaware. But I mean, I'm former law enforcement, and I've been to Bulgaria. I've been to those Russia. And
you Bulgaria, yeah.
So you look around and you're just like, we're just going to keep our business with what we're supposed to do. We're not going to open up that conversation.
Right. Man, it took me to these like I fought in Moscow a lot, and they took me to a lot of those bathhouses, and these mob guys running, and then I'm knowing what's going on, but they I got honestly say, Mike, they always took care of me, whatever I wanted. Yeah, hey, chick, two chicks, whatever I want, they call it as that happening. You know.
Uh, well,
Arnold,
the thing about Russia is like I've been told, I don't know,
yeah,
is you walk into a building, it looks like it's bombed out. You go up 2 flights of stairs, you walk into a place, it's immaculate.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing like yeah. You go and play like they like, man, this place looks like just the wall just fell.
It looks like it's like he was just in the middle of a war.
Yeah, you go in there and it's like, man, everything is crystal and shining. And like, man,
And then on the inside, and then the madam comes out,
yeah,
gives her hand a clap, and like a collegiate volleyball team walks in, one player at a time.
They do. And you know what? I always tell guys that man, you got to say. I tell you what's happening. It was funny. One day we had this show in Moscow, and the guy, he said, "Hey, Mr. Dixon, the guy said that you're the guy to find. Hey, we want to." I said, "Look, okay, I'm gonna take you to a spot where you can hang out and see what it's like." And I took him to all the clubs, and every club is a pickup place in Moscow. Every club, there's this, I mean, if you see a chick, she probably has a price. You just negotiate the price and whatever, just the way it was.
It's wild.
The big club in Moscow, it's called Night Flight. I think you can still pull it up if you pull up www.nightflight.ru, you can look on it. It's like the biggest pickup joint in Moscow. All the businessmen go there, they're hot dollar,
All right. So I'd like to point something out as well. IFC 1, you get beat out of 20 grand.
Yeah.
At IFC 9, they promise you one price, they pay you in Canadian Loonie instead.
Yeah.
So when you go to the bank, they tell you got.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do no more. They supposedly sold to a guy in Canada, Indian reservation, And I asked him, I say, man, were you guys gonna make good on that money I'm owed? Oh, well, that was their debts. I said, but then you absorb their debt, so, and we'll take care of you. But I never got it.
No, at that point, you just gotta chalk it up to the game, man. It is what it is.
That's right. You're right.
You just don't let it happen again.
No, sir, no. Well, I always said, God had me go through things where I can help my guys. I know what to look for, what to do. You know what I mean? How things are, because I seen they go from when there was no athletic commissions to where now they're everywhere. Because in Japan didn't have any athletic commission.
So when you fought for Fight Party May 15th, 1999, was it one of those like makeshift cages with zip ties that was falling apart, or was it in the ring?
Was that the one in Atlanta?
It was. It was with Robert Shaw. I couldn't find the video.
No, it was actually in a ring, and we actually broke. I had him in the guillotine. We fell on the ropes, and he and I both were like 280 something, and we snapped the ropes. They had to stop it to fix it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you know who the promoter was for that event?
Oh man, offhand, I don't, man. I don't want to tell you a story. I don't.
Did you get paid?
Yeah, I got.
It's the commissioner for California, Andy Foster.
Andy Foster, really?
The guy that's in charge of California.
Yeah, you know what? It was Andy Foster. Yeah,
Andy Foster. So when the boards broke, he came back and did a makeshift cage with barbed wire from like Home Depot.
Wow.
And they had two referees, one to make sure none of the fighters went up against the cage, and one of them to actually ref the fight. Yeah, I mean, fighters were getting their foot caught underneath it and knocked out because they were trapped. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, look, the second time I fought Dan Severn was here in North Mississippi, and he and I was on a cage, and the cage almost tipped over. It actually, you know what I'm saying? Teetered. He had guys outside holding the cage down.
Did Dan ever ask you to do a work?
No. He hadn't. I asked him about wrestling and everything. It was funny. That time, second I fought, that was Grandpa Jackson's. I met him. That was his fourth fight. He was on my underground. It was his fourth fight when I met him. He fought on that card too. It was his fourth fight. Yeah, it was crazy. And I saw him. I repped the show when he fought King Mo, and he and I talked, and I hadn't seen each other since way back then. I remember when he started, man.
Preston Thigpen, you've been around the mixed martial arts scene from, your neck of the woods. How often did you see John Dixson in there as a referee?
He reffed a few of our guys' fights, and we would see him regularly. Haven't seen him in a while. Like I said, he had back surgery.
From a guy that prepares his team, it's got to be a relief to you to understand that whether he's judging or refereeing, it's a guy that's actually been in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. There's so many, especially judges, that just don't train, don't know what they're doing. We're seeing it regularly in jiu-jitsu tournaments as well. Just refs that don't know what they're doing, that decisions going to the wrong people,
It's more like who they know politically is why they're sitting there rather than their knowledge.
So we're starting to see that a lot as well as judges who are on teams at different gyms, and they're judging, and you kind of give them that little advantage on the scorecards.
It's rough, man. Like, they got to have experience, but they shouldn't be managing fighters and getting
the refs. The refs are usually pretty good, but judging is kind of where it gets a little scary.
Yeah.
John, do you miss refereeing?
I do, because I see so many mistakes now, Now, I was known for letting the fight go, but I knew when the guy's hurt or not, I was known, man, they made a joke. They said if John Dixon refs, he said if he dies, he dies, but it's just, but I know when the guy's hurt or not, because you can ruin an awesome fight. You stop it too soon,
Preston, you train a lot of people at Kurt Holloway's gym. It's like, do you give a fighter the option, stop too soon or stop a little bit too late?
Yeah.
What are they saying?
Yeah, a little bit too late.
Yeah,
let me go out on mine.
Yeah, 99% are saying riding out on my shield, man.
That's right. Yep. Don't tap from strikes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Kurt's Kurt, hello, man. Kurt's a good dude.
I will do, man. Will do.
Yeah. Good family man.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Absolute savage in the cage.
Yeah. I always like Kurt, man.
Yeah.
So when you fought for the WEF World Extreme Fighting, it was Tommy Sauer.
Yeah, Tommy Sauer.
Tommy, obviously no longer with us,
right.
Former fireman EMT.
Yeah, good guy.
Also had Tourette's.
Right. Yeah, and he was crazy strong, dude. Yeah, but yeah, he was a real cool dude. When I won that, he and I became friends, and a lot of fights with him. WEF. He fought Vladimir Matyushenko in WEF.
Yeah. Vladimir Matyushenko and Vladimir Shenko were both on the Russian team. As a senior in high school, Vladimir Matyushenko beat 2 American gold medalists, including Schultz. He beat like Kevin Jackson, and then he beat not Mark, but the brother that passed. He beat. I mean, can you imagine being a senior in high school?
Right.
Exactly. And having wins over 2 American gold medalists.
Yeah, those guys. I got a chance to train with them when I was in Moscow. I got a chance to go to all these sambo gyms, wrestling gyms, and every sambo guy wrestles. They call sambo wrestlers, so they call sambo fighters. And it's just, the training is just crazy. When I met guys from Dagestan, it's just, the training was just so crazy where I knew these guys were going to end up being champions soon with the way they train. Well, they already live hard, they live hard as it is. And then train the way they train, it was just, I do it,
I mean, like, we all see it. Like, hey, Preston, you can attest to this. Like, the guys will get, hey, man, you know what? I'm really dedicating myself. I haven't drank or smoked or done any of this in 8 weeks. And then, like, you deal with the Dagestani, and they like, I've never drank, and I've never smoked, and I've never taken a day off of training. It's like there's There's levels to this game.
No, but you know what's crazy, and I'm not trying to, I guess, promote this, but you see the guys too. There's complete animals. Yeah, I'm in Moscow or in Thailand. Me guys that drink and smoke all the time and just slaughter everybody. Some guys in Thailand. They got some guys that train, that drink, smoke all the time, but you can't spar these guys. They kill you. In Russia, there's some guys that smoke. One guy go and take a smoke break, come in and I'll wrestle everybody. And you're like, how do you have this hard people? I was like, how do you is it? I can't even. It's just crazy. You know, I think GSP had a guy was in Thailand that drank and smoked, and he went to when he was on Ultimate Fighter and just killed him.
John Claude. It's like Lukenbacher or something like that. Yes, yeah, he was always drunk. Yeah.
Kill everybody. Yeah, I make my guys just like unreal. They're just, I was saying, just hard people. Just and then no matter what they do, they get up and train the next day, no matter how late they're out. Because when I was in Russia and hang out with those guys, they came out all night, man. And at 5 a.m, well, hey, we got to train. We just got in 30 minutes ago, and go out there and train.
So just a heads up, guys, that's Jean-Charles Skarbowski is the individual from the UFC fighter back in the day.
Tyson Green in with the save, man. They're doing our little fact check. My man, T.
That's right.
So Dave Schultz, like, obviously murdered at the Foxcatcher training facility. When we had Vladimir Matyushenko on, he said that we're in the United States. We're supposed to be getting a stipend. Our coaches aren't giving the team the stipend. They're keeping it for themselves. The team elects me to talk to the coaches saying, hey, man, unless you give us our money, we're not wrestling. And they said, oh, really? Does anybody back him? And he said the entire team cowered except Aaron Shenko. And that's when he knew he had a defect. Like the bags he had in his hand, him and Aaron Shenko both defected that day. Dave Schultz was a big part of that.
Wow.
Fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. That's unreal.
So Jamie Levine was the WEF promoter.
Yeah.
Any issues with him?
Jamie Levine used to have a problem a lot of time with checks with bounce, but he always made mine good. He but I was a champ for him too, so he used to do things, but he was really pushing buttons with the UFC back at the time. I think that was was it John Peretti in the UFC back then?
Yes, John Peretti was absolutely matchmaking for the UFC at this point.
Jamie Levine was getting backing all the time, man, and doing shows, and he was. You hear things, you hear things, but when checks did bounce, but we ended up making them good though,
He had like this weird thing where he was like borrowing from certain people, paying other people, and it was like constantly like that.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely a money problem for sure. Money problem.
Kip Kohler was the referee at that point for you.
Kip Kohler, yeah.
Dude, you also fought Andrei Arlovski when Andrei was 2-1.
Yeah, I fought him in Belarus. Yeah, Belarus. And, I saw the mob there too. Got to talk about that. The Belarusian mob. Yeah, he and I fought, and I kept taking him down, and they kept standing us up. But I always say, when you're in someone's backyard, it is how it is, And I finally got tired of taking him down, man, and just gas out.
Future UFC champion. Shortly after this, he goes to the United States. You know what's wild? Like when he moved to Chicago, we had all been told here, oh, he's owned by the Belarus mob.
Yeah.
And when we asked Matyushenko, because he's also from Belarus, he's like, nah, he was more of a policeman type. I think he was on the police department before.
Yeah. But I
interesting
know the mob guys guy with him because I met a guy that was a mob guy there, and I was talking to him. And I asked him. I said, "You mind me asking?" I said, "Could you tell me now how'd you make your?" He said he made his first $1 million selling black market cigarettes in Belarus. He said selling cigarettes. He said Lucky Strikes, Marlboro, Winston, and Camels. He said he made his first $1 million selling cigarettes, black market. Not black market, American cigarettes in Belarus.
See, that's wild. Then you were in the rings tournament. You fought Kerry Schall.
Mm-hmm.
Mitra Kerry Schall, future Ultimate Fighter veteran.
Mm-hmm. I got caught in a Kimura.
Schall was big. He was a big guy. He used to come up to that kung fu fighting song.
Yeah.
You also had a boxing match against Trey Telligman.
Yeah, Trey. Yeah, Trey. I known Trey from Lions Den back when I fought them guys. Matter of fact, Michael Stan was Lions Den guy when I beat him, and met Trey and we did a boxing match. It was here, as a matter of fact, Mississippi.
That's friggin' nuts, man. Yeah, Trey Telligman, another guy. Man, I've been trying to get that guy on forever. Yeah, Wade Collier, you beat him in a Muay Thai, and I tell you the one guy that I don't think gets their credit where it's due because he didn't have a really good MMA record. Who you fought in Muay Thai December 20, 2001 was Moti Hornstein.
Moti.
His stand-up's legit, dude.
He is tough as nails, man. Me and that dude fought. We fought overseas or what, man. I remember one time we fought a tournament. We were roommates and we ended up fighting in the end. It's crazy. But
yeah, I respect him. I got my picture taken. We actually got a little interview with him.
Yeah.
One of our old school interviews. Yeah. We actually got him out of the way.
Yeah, I talked to him. He moved to Florida.
Dude, he's outside of West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
He's got his own gym. Yeah.
It's nice down there. Yeah.
Pardoel is also down there. Did you ever fight Bart?
No, I fought Murakami, who that's who had beat Pardoel. Remember, he had beat Pardoel in a show here, and he beat Pardoel in a Battlecade. Remember Battlecade?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, bro. We just said jump ready on. We've had him out a bunch of times.
Right. And then that's when they wanted me to fight him, and then they said, well, we're gonna do it at work, and that's a big thing. And they know it's funny. The pride. I was talking to Rampage, and they were saying how that even toward the end that they were paying them with like electronics and stuff like that. weren't getting paid. Yeah. Toward the end.
I got this lawnmower for you. Yeah, the snowblower.
Yeah. But the pride was the best, I thought, man. I never thought they had any problem toward the end, It was so big,
You also fought Jonathan Wiezerich.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah. In Atlanta.
Yeah, he's complete. Yeah, he was one of Andy Foster's training partners.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Springfield, Illinois. He's an athletic director at a community college. I don't know why I went and tracked him down the way I did, but he's completely removed from mixed martial arts. I don't think a human being at his college knows he fought in the UFC.
Yeah. And he had that win. When he and I fought, he just had that win over Dan Severn.
Yeah, dude, he was a big human being, man, and he could move.
Big dude, yeah.
And he was a good nail. Like he was a good. I mean, was he a good hammer? But he was a hell of a nail.
Yeah. I had him in a heel hook, man, and I think it popped. It like popped so many times, but he ended up pushing through it, man, and ended up getting on top of it, man, just smothered me, and he actually couldn't walk that night. He had to go to. Matter of fact, he told Lee Coates that I was the only guy that he was afraid of. But he'd seen some old fights, stuff,
What was your thoughts about Lee Coates and Rob Brandiff, the FFC owners?
Yeah, their shows were all good, man. They really did. They did a good thing, man. And back when it wasn't Good, and those guys really tried to make it good, you know. Anyway, here at the Beau Rivage Casino, it was nice.
I used to buy all those DVDs. I still got them.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee, man, it's funny. Lee hit me up. He was in Atlanta about a week ago, and he hit me up. He talked to George Allen and Wade Rome and Brett Moses and Cal Cooper. All the guys are down there.
So, World Absolute Fighting Championship, Nikolai Onekinko beat him by armbar.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mario Neto is, you see him in the finals. Mario Neto, another kind of legendary fighter from the NHB area.
Yeah, that's when headbutt. Remember, I got headbutted right under my eye, and he actually became the jiu-jitsu coach at Golden Glory. And
Mario Neto was?
Yeah.
So he speaks English then.
Yeah, and he caught me with a headbutt.
We're getting him. Tyson, send him an email. Okay, Mario Neto. Fuck, dude, we're getting him.
You got it.
That's excellent. That Nikolai Onekinko, he wasn't real happy about the loss, and they flew you to Russia for a rematch.
Right. Yeah, I beat him with an armbar that very first time, and he hated it. He didn't want to go. The guy, I tell you, that guy, I don't know what juice he was on, but he was when he grabbed me, I thought he was gonna kill me. He was just that strong. But I've been with I think being in Russia so much helped me because I dealt with these steroided up guys all the time and wrestlers. I was used to it. So I got an armbar. They flew me back. Matter of fact, that the second time was that show I told you it was America versus Russia, and I had to beat him again, and I stopped him the second time, and then all the other American guys lost that night.
That's wild. You Jonathan Ivey fought him in. Were you supposed to fight him in Canada and it fell through?
No, I fought him in
Hardcore Fighting Championship.
Hardcore Fighting Championships in Boston. Yeah, Boston.
Okay.
Tons. It's like a little Brazil. I never met any Brazilians. It was at a Brazilian like bar club, and it was packed, man. And American Top Team fought with me. American Top Team was there. It was actually a really nice show.
You know, when you fought in June 11, 2004, it was Extreme Challenge in Minnesota. This is the first time you and I met. I'd never seen you fight live. I actually drove up there. Gerald Strevent was on the card. He fought Sean Shirk. You fought Travis View. Dude, Travis View, monster. I've never seen a ticket seller like him. He sold like 80% of that crowd that night.
You know, and when he caught me with that elbow, I didn't think I was hurt till the doc came over to me. I said, I'm good, doc. He said, nah. You can see my skull, man. You can see the bone. It just, he cut me. He was in my guard. He threw an elbow and he just cut me wide open.
He had these T-shirts. It was like a Mack truck, except like his body was on the front.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never seen anybody sell as many tickets and T-shirts as that guy. Ever.
Travis View, yeah. Travis View, yeah. Hey, I tell you who else was with me?
Melvin Gillard.
Melvin Gilliard, he came with me then. Melvin was there.
You guys traveled together. Melvin played a spoiler. It's the first time I saw him fight as well. He would wear like these Snoopy slippers with glasses.
Yeah.
Hey, Gillard could fuck people up, man. Like back then, if you watch his feet, he does almost like a triangle. And then when you step forward, it's almost like he's got a loaded gun, and it's just like you took the bait. Like his trap is it's in his footwork, and if you don't recognize it, dude, it's game over.
Melvin was good. I think him getting away, getting around other people what made his downfall, I think.
Did you get along with Joe Ancona?
Yeah. I'd take guys to fight at Joey's spot all the time.
Yeah, Gillard him and Gillard never got along, but Gillard.
No. But supposedly, Melvin was Joey's guy, though, back when he was fighting. Joey's the one that brought him around.
You fought Tadas Remkevicius in Lithuania.
Right, Lithuania. Yeah.
You got screwed on that.
Yeah, you know what? Now the Shudo guys said they were gonna, but Japan, you know, they love me in Japan, and the Shudo president was there. He said he's gonna overturn that. I don't know if he ever did.
You two, Preston, at one point, well, first off, Tadas is very greased up. At one time, John jumps up to pump the crowd up with his arms. Referee takes a point.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
How you, man?
You were the referee for Jamie Varner versus Kyle Bradley.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, that was, dude. You've been around a couple corners, man.
Yeah, been around a long time, man. Like I tell you, I've seen it change from a fight to a sport. You know.
Yeah, really. And well, you also saw it from like the spectacle to the modern era,
right?
As well. Like John Brady brought in the modern era of mixed martial arts,
right?
You know, and John Brown, one of your students.
Yeah,
I think he got stiffed by it when he fought Jeff Monson.
Yeah, I thought he won that fight.
Did he get paid or no?
Yeah, he got paid.
Okay, I thought that there was kind of a little bit of rumor. You also trained the shaman Kevin Jordan.
Yeah, but he and I fought, and we fought here as a matter of fact.
For FFC, but you guys trained for a little bit too, right? Am I correct?
No, we just friends. Just friends. We didn't train.
Okay. What about Robert Parham?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah, Parham's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Parham's another old school cat.
He makes movies now.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's producer. He's been in some B-rated movies, but he's doing a lot. He's doing good, man. Yeah, movies.
Did you train Alan Belcher back in the day as well?
Yeah, back when Alan when he first started, came down here, he did. Yeah.
What was your thought? Did you know? Like, did you kind of foresee him being as talented as he was when he stepped in the ring?
Yeah, because I always knew he was always good. He had, because Alan could box, he had rhythm. His way he moved, he was good. You know, he's heavyweight now, which I always knew he could be because he had big legs. You know.
Skip Hall, another guy that trained with you for a minute.
No, Skip never trained me, but I know Skip.
I thought he trained with you for a minute. Yeah, he had an interesting kind of rise and fall.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, what are we closing with, man? You know what I mean? Like you're a guy that's been around the corner many different blocks.
Yeah.
What kind of I guess sage advice would you give fighters today in regards to those days?
For fighters, definitely if you find a good camp, someone that looks out for you. If you get a manager, make sure that you read everything. Get someone that takes care of you, and just stay busy. I mean, because now, I've got hundreds of fights, but these guys now can fight 20 times to be millionaires. It's really awesome now. It's the guys at UFC. Let me ask you this: what do you think about ONE FC? What do you think about them?
I don't watch them enough. I like some of their fighters, but like I feel embarrassed just to admit this. I think what they're doing is really cool. I know there's a lot of fallout because there's lots of promises with some issues with delivery, but I like the rule set. Like I definitely like the rule set. Yeah. What about yourself?
I like how they do the Muay Thai and the kickboxing and MMA, and I think it's good. I think it's good.
Preston, do you follow ONE FC?
Yeah, every Friday morning, 7:30, I'm watching it. I love ONE FC. I think the fights are especially the striking. I think the striking's top of the food chain. Maybe some of the best in combat sports.
Yeah.
I like their lack of drug testing as well. Like it's I'm okay with that. You know, let's keep the weight like same day weigh-ins. Who gives a shit about whatever they put in their body? You know, as an adult, you got to assume the person across from you's probably on something.
Right.
You know, it's just kind of hazards of the sport. What brings that up, John? Are you?
No, I was just curious. I like what I'm seeing. I like that. But you're right about that. I mean, I always fought guys I knew was on the juice or whatever. Who cares? You fight and you just learn how to deal with it. You know, and you know it's just I get sick of the whether it says was cheating. So what? Deal with it. You know.
Here it is. You see a guy that's all bodied out. It just means you got to wait a little bit. You know what I mean? Let him burn out.
Yeah. That's what I did. When I fought in Russia, like I said, every guy was a wrestler and he was juicing. But I always get my wins like the second and third round because the first round, you had to survive the first round. You had to survive that. But they get real tired. Just, all that muscle, a lot of oxygen, you know, and
I agree with that. Are you watching BKFC at all as well?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I used to judge when they came here because I did 3 bare knuckle boxing back in Russia, back when it was still, you know, Queensberry rules, and when it was, you know, there. But now these guys but the way they're fighting now, they're not going to have long careers. They get hit way too much. They're not bobbing ways, they're not parrying. They're going to get hit, and they would get hit with bare knuckle like that. So it's not going to last long.
Yeah, I agree with that. The like if you've got our standard here for veteran of the game, it's tournament fighting, 50 fights. If you're a 50 fight club member with BKFC, man, you got 15 bare knuckle fights. You're like in that 1%. You know, that 1% of 1%. I didn't even say 10. You got 10 bare knuckle fights.
You got all the guys going there. Mark Hunt just signed with them.
I know they've been talking, you know, behind the scenes. I work for BKFC. I know Mark was, I want to do it. And then he come with some like crazy amount of money. Yeah. Dude, Mark Hunt's the man. I love Mark Hunt.
Yeah, Mark Hunt's good. He and I were supposed to fight one time because they liked because he and I both walked toward each other. And what happened with that? Something fell through. I was going to get back into Pride. Something fell through.
Yeah. That's wild. John Dixson, you're an absolute gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
I sincerely appreciate that. Preston, you're going to hold on for a second. Thank you, sir. Man, I from the bottom of our hearts, like you're the bricks that built the foundation, man. Like we're here today because of your blood and sweat and lack of paydays while you were doing it.
Thank you so much, boss. Thank you, guys.
Preston Thigpen.
Yes, sir.
That's a history lesson right there, boy.
Yeah, legend.
He really is, man. And it's like, man, those guys, I don't give a shit what their record looks like. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Look at who they fought.
Yeah. Dan Severn, Jeremy Horn. Come on, man.
Yeah. Vovchanchyn.
Yeah. His fourth, fifth fight?
And like heavyweights that aren't wrestlers to get 50 fights, that's like one of the hardest roads you can do. And Vovchanchyn's easily got 50 fights.
Yeah. And his record was, even when he retired, was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually fighting in the war in Ukraine. Yeah, he's
got to be up there in age, too.
Fucking nuts. Yeah. So, Preston Thigpen, let's give the address of your gym, bro, where you guys are
at. Grace United, Team Jukow and Amy and Franklinton. That's Curtis Gyms.
So, Jukow, you guys are like an affiliate of Jukow who's in Atlanta that might be, in my opinion, one of the most – he's probably got some of the biggest achievements as a coach that for some reason flies under people's radars. And I think it's because he's not a cheerleader for himself.
I think he's in New York. Is it New York?
No, Jukow? No, he's in Atlanta. American Top Team Atlanta.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure? Sure we talking about the same guy? He just got his Cora belt?
Okay, so I'm going Juan Carnero is Jukow. No, different Jukow.
Yeah, it's I don't want to say Allison because it's spelled different. It's like Allison Brights.
Okay. absolutely different Schall.
I think he's in New York. I believe his headquarters is in New York, I believe.
What's next for Kurt Holloway?
Trying to get him another fight. You know, after rumors of the New Orleans card in February, hopefully that goes through. Maybe we can get him on that card. Maybe fight before the end of the year. Probably not. I haven't been there yet. We'll see. We'll see.
If it's a hometown fight, you just gotta tell him, hey, bro, this is how it is.
Yeah, I'll be there though. You know, for sure. But getting him ready too. You know, every day.
That's good. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, another fantastic episode. Dude, you've been hassling me about this guy for a minute. Preston, dude, honestly, man, your input from like that area, that neck of the woods, whenever we got somebody from there, it's so key, bro. So key. Greatly appreciated, man.
No problem, man.
Be good, guys.
All right.
Check out the full interview on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms.